Hello, my dear TOEFL test takers. I know it's the season. I know you've decided to take your TOEFL test because you want a better life, you want to study abroad, you want to work for an international company, and you need to prove that you can actually speak and use English for education and for work. But I know that a lot of you are just like me several years ago when you realize, oh yeah, I actually need to take the TOEFL test in 2 weeks. What do I do? Marina, what do I do? I was in the same situation. I took so much time preparing for my GMAT that I only had 10 days left to prepare for TOEFL. And they were during New Year's, a major Russian holiday when I wanted to spend time with my family and friends. But let's assume you have 2 weeks. So in this video, I'm gonna give you a day-by-day preparation plan so you can balance whatever else you're doing. Maybe it's a major holiday in your country, or maybe you have a job. I want this to be a comprehensive plan that will help you conquer the TOEFL. Now let's begin. Day number 1 is when you need to actually understand what the TOEFL test is, and guess what? This day is today. So we're gonna start right away. I'm gonna explain what the TOEFL test is, what I struggled with when I took TOEFL, and I took it 3 times. The first time for my actual university, the second time because I wanted to test the home version, and the third time because I wanted to test the new version of the TOEFL test for this channel. And after that, I'm gonna continue with your plans, so you will have details on what to do on day 2, day 3, etc. till the end of the second week. But let's dive into the test structure first. The first part is a reading. In this section, you will have to read 2 passages, approximately 700 words long, and answer 10 questions after the passage. The great thing is that when you look at the questions, you will also have a chance to look at the text, so you don't have to memorize the whole text. And the first thing you should do is actually get acquainted with the text. Skim through it, understand the main idea. Don't really read into details, but understand what each paragraph is talking about, because it's gonna be easier for you to answer questions after that. The second tip, understand what are the keywords for this text and kind of remember which paragraph they're mentioned in, because a lot of questions will be related to those keywords. The next tip is for perfectionists like me. Sometimes I feel stuck on a particular question. So if you feel stuck, just remember that this question was kind of weird. I'm gonna come back to it later and do that. Because if you spend too much time overthinking the question, first you're gonna run out of time and you still have more questions after this one, because the more time you spend on this question, the more chance there is that you're gonna be wrong. Another tip for the reading section, when you see the text, try to ignore the words that you don't know. However, there is a huge chance you'll get a question related to that complicated word, because this is what they do. They give you some advanced words and they check whether you understand their meanings. Not always, right? Sometimes you just don't know the word, and you could be lucky that there is no question related to that word. So during your initial text assessment, just skip them. Of course, during these 2 weeks, you're gonna have days when you practice the reading part, but today you're just getting acquainted. Ideally, if you have more time today, guys, and I'm asking you to do this, after you finish this video, go to ets.org or any other website that you wanna use and take a free TOEFL practice test, because this is the best thing you can do on the first day. After you watch this video, you understand what's going on, you understand what they want from you, but then you take the actual mock test. If you don't have time, it's okay. My plan includes a lot of practice, so you should be fine. And then after reading, you go straight into listening. No breaks, no snacks, just water. This part is the part I don't like the most. It's just because they bombard you with information, so be ready. This is where you need even more focus, unfortunately, but this is the reality of the TOEFL test. So you'll have 2 conversations, 3 minutes each, 5 questions per conversation. And then you're gonna have 3 lectures, 3 to 5 minutes each, some with classroom discussion, and you're gonna have 6 questions per lecture. So basically 5 separate pieces of information with additional questions. A lot of your attention is needed. But there is one thing I actually like about the listening part. It's related to campus lives. So these situations are pretty easy to understand if you had experience with college life or watched movies about American colleges and universities. If I could give just one tip for your listening part, take notes and learn to take notes before your actual test, because it's very hard to remember important information because, again, you're getting so much information during your test. So if you're writing down key things, that would be great. Like, they mentioned this proposal, it can't work because of these 3 reasons, but then the student does not agree because of these 2 reasons. Try to write them down. Try to organize your notes in blocks. Like, for example, you have a column for each speaker, or you have bullet points, something that will just help you answer the question by glancing at your notes. Write down collocations, not separate words. We actually have a TOEFL prep course where we give you these collocations so you can practice them beforehand. They make your note-taking so much easier. This is a skill that you need in your life, because I guess if you start studying in the US or somewhere else, you will be taking notes, and collocations help you take notes a lot faster. Try to use symbols like equal, 0, more, less, minus, plus, everything you used during your mathematics class. The next tip is pay attention to the speaker's intonation and tone of voice. Speakers can be sarcastic and say things in a sarcastic manner, and those things will actually affect the main point. So just listen to the way they pronounce things. Another tip is don't be afraid to guess. With the listening part, you're not gonna have too much time to answer the questions. Like with reading, you kind of have time to read the text again, reread the paragraph. With the listening section, all the information that you have is actually in your notes. You won't be able to re-listen to the passage. So you will not have too much time answering the question. And here is where your intuition might actually be helpful. So if you see a question and you have the first thought as an answer, and then you struggle to find any relevant information in your notes, just go with your intuition. Because again, you won't have too much time. By the way, if you want to study question types for all the parts using our videos, I'm gonna link some videos that are going to be helpful for you. And now my favorite section, speaking. Again, no breaks in the new TOEFL test. But speaking is my favorite part, just because the examiners, they're really nice to you during the speaking part. You can make mistakes, you can stumble, you can say, and they are fine with that. They want to hear your natural English, and they understand that people make mistakes even during tests. And I like that a lot about them, because every single test that I took, I had some kind of an awkward moment when I finished my answer with or I start saying a phrase and then the time is up and I'm like, dang, why would I even start saying that phrase? But they're actually fine with it. Question number 1, independent speaking task. They will basically give you a topic and you will answer with your personal ideas. And this is the easiest question ever. Just come up with whatever answer, give them 2 reasons, that's it. This is my favorite question just because, you just let your imagination flow. Even if you say things you don't really believe in, that's fine. Like, they don't care about your opinions, they care about hearing how you communicate in English. Questions number 2 to 4 are actually different. They require you to combine your English language skills, listening and speaking, or listening, reading, and speaking, just as you would in or out of the classroom. So I still have some study tips. My main study tip, use templates. They can help you structure your answer, and this is something I memorized before the test every single time I took the test. In this text, the professor covers the topic of. The text gives us additional information about the topic, providing 2 examples. Like, by now, I know them by heart just because, again, they're so helpful. And if you want to find the templates that our teachers have created, that I have used, they are in our TOEFL course, and I will link it down below. Other tips include, don't make too many pauses. Like, it's okay to pause and think, but try to think beforehand. You will have some time to prepare your answer. Don't rush or panic when speaking. I know it's an advice that's hard to follow, but do your best. And take notes for question 2, 3, and 4. For the first, just provide 1 reason and that's it. You should be fine. So there is no need to really take any notes. Also, for the questions 2 and 3, don't spend over 15 seconds summarizing texts. Try to use more advanced words and complicated structures in your answer. And use tongue twisters before the test to just warm up. So before you walk into the classroom or before you start the test, she sells seashells on the seashore. I can say one in Russian. Any tongue twisters, ideally in English or in your language, just to warm up. And the last but not least, your writing part, my least favorite part, because I was never able to get 30 out of 30. So you're gonna get an integrated writing task, 20 minutes. You're gonna read a short passage and listen to a short lecture, then write a response to what you read and listened to. And the second question is writing for an academic discussion task. State and support an opinion in an online classroom discussion. Study tips. Make sure to check whatever you've written twice. Read from start to the end and then from the end to the start. Check for spelling, punctuation, and whether sentences make sense. In the integrated essay, use your notes effectively and use the templates. Again, we have a course by me. My highest score was at 117 out of 120 on TOEFL. And Anastasia, our teacher, she actually scored 119 out of 120 on TOEFL. She helped me prepare this course with all the templates and with all the best study tips. And you'll find that course in the description with all the templates for the writing part as well. If you don't have time, don't waste your time writing conclusion in both texts. It's not really necessary. And in writing for an academic discussion, elaborate your reasons. And what they're looking at also, what they told me, is that your paragraphs for each reason should be kind of the same. But now we're actually moving to the 2-week plan, and we're moving to day number 2, and I want you to practice everything that we've learned today. Now, day number 2, I want you to focus on reading. Do 2 reading parts and focus on your mistakes. Day 3, your listening part. Take 2 listening tests. Full sections from the TOEFL test. Day number 4 is where I want you to focus on the parts that require feedback, and that's speaking and writing. If you're taking our course, we have a pro package that includes an individual lesson with our teacher Anastasia, and she will give you feedback. She will answer your questions and evaluate your writing and speaking skills in 30 minutes. Day number 5 is basically when you practice all the parts, and you probably realized, a lot of you will realize that there are a lot of words that you're still uncomfortable with, but they're important for TOEFL. So you can do your best and try to do 10 words and phrases a day. This is not something I will recommend just for a general English language learner, just because 10 words and phrases a day is too much. Because now your test is in 10 days, so just do your best to learn those advanced words for the TOEFL test, because there is a huge chance, if you just Google the list of words necessary for TOEFL, there is a huge chance you will encounter some of them during your test. Day 6 and 7, I still want you to relax. So in these days, you spend less time preparing, but I want you to focus on questions where you made mistakes. If there are questions about vocabulary, then this is something you need to work on. If there are questions about understanding the main point of the text, just work on your weaknesses. Day 8, continue working on your vocabulary. Use flashcards or lists, whatever works best for you. Day 9, work on your templates. They are very important and they make your life so much easier during the speaking and the writing part. So what I did, I looked at all the templates that I had. I thought, I like this phrase more, I like this phrase more, because I'm just more used to it. And I feel like they are very natural to me. So I created my own templates from all of the different things that I've seen, and I just learned them by heart. Day 10 and 11, and don't do this before the test, do this on day 10 and 11. On each day, you take a full practice test. You time yourself, you kind of live through the experience, see what's going on, you feel your body, how it's working in this stressful environment. But don't do this the day before the test. I want you to have your energy on the actual test. So day 10 and then day 11. Now we have 3 last days. Day 12, you focus on your mistakes again because you took 2 full practice tests. Now you have an even clearer idea what parts are the hardest for you. Day 13, this is where we try to relax. Like 2 days before the test, there's not much you can learn. The most important thing, you understand the structure, you understand how you perform under time pressure, you understand what's going on with your English. Now it's just time to learn how to relax, learn to breathe. The last day before the test, review the templates, review the words that you're struggling with, but mostly again, try to relax. And on the test day, get a good night's sleep, eat a healthy breakfast, arrive at the test early, make sure your house is quiet if you're taking your test from home, and fingers crossed, And also, bonus tip, when you're preparing for TOEFL, try to immerse yourself in English as much as possible by watching YouTube videos, by listening to BBC audios, by reading texts in English, just because it helps your brain rewire. And don't be afraid to ask for help. There are so many resources that can help you prepare, and they're available online, or you have our course called Get 100 or Above on TOEFL. If you found this video, please comment down below what other TOEFL related videos you want to see on this channel, and don't forget to smash the like button. And I'm looking forward to reading the comments after you took the test, and of course you're gonna come back to this channel and comment your score. See you soon, and bye bye.